Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee. Look at my potatoes behind me. They're doing fantastic. My entire garden is doing fantastic. And I am going to take you on a garden tour today. It's enormous. We've had like 4 days of solid rain. And in that 4 days, we've probably only gotten about 2 inches of rain. So, the garden loved it. The lightning, the thunder, and it like doubled in size in those few days. Anyway, I'm back up and running. Not with my phone though. I can no longer hook my phone to my computer. It just doesn't recognize it. I spent like 7 hours, 8 hours on the phone with Dell, my computer tech, and they can't fix it. I don't know what's wrong. My phone malfunctioned. So I've got a few videos on my phone that I'm not going to be able to get off and edit, but I can redo them. And I will, because I want to share those with you. Oh, it has been busy. My garden's coming along really, really good. Things are being cleaned up good. My neighbor, a couple blocks away from me, he takes care of my yard. He mows and weed whips for me because I do this entire garden and I don't have any help. So I am so busy. It's like I'm already spread thin with the garden alone. And so he does that for me. It's fantastic. He's got it looking beautiful. You'll see it. I wanted to do a live stream as well to update you on my computer problems, issues. But with the rain, there's no way. It just doesn't work well. So yeah, I was out. I figured I'd just do a chit chat. We're sitting out in my patio in front of my potatoes. Those things are huge. But they're starting to bloom, so about another couple weeks. No, probably about another 2.5 weeks, then I'll dig the potatoes. They're all blooming, except my German butterheads are just starting to bloom. You'll see those. When my husband come home, we took the old tarp off the greenhouse, buttoned that up for the winter. I still can get in the front of it to store certain things in there. We're going to be rebuilding the chicken coop because it's like a hot mess out there right now. Those poor girls. They got rained on for 4 days, but they're all doing very well. My teenage chickens, I'll say. They're not quite adults yet. They're still in the cage over there. They're doing good. They're almost ready that I would feel comfortable enough to introduce them to the big flock. And then the little babies that Shannon gave me, the Transylvanian, well, she calls them Turkins. They're Turkins. I believe they're the same. I believe their technical name is Transylvanian naked necks, but they're called Turkins. And they're not a turkey and a chicken cross. They are chickens. Just so anybody's wondering that, they're not crossed. They are a chicken. The flowers are doing fantastic. They're just, my flowers have gone berserk since this rain. Everything has. And my market stand, when I sold all my excess plants in the greenhouse, that went over like crazy. I made enough money off that it will supply my greenhouse for next year. So I was very happy with that. Plus, friends, I grew a lot. I started a lot of plants. I was still able to donate to 5 households. Complete donation for gardening. So I just let them come and get what they needed, what they wanted, flowers, vegetables, whatever. And it was all donation. So I did my part on that too. And I still made enough to subsidize my greenhouse next year. So I'm happy with that. We had burn ban. We couldn't burn because it was so hot and just drought. We had a really bad drought here in northern Michigan, and we had burn ban for weeks. I swear it was weeks. Anyway, they lifted it yesterday, so I've got my pile that has all my brush in it and leaves and all my yard debris. I was able to burn that yesterday, and it was really wet, but it burned. It didn't burn completely down because I let it burn out when I went to bed, and it just smoldered a little bit. But I have to finish that up today. Anything else going on except the computer issues? I have no idea. If anybody has any idea, I've got a Motorola phone and I've got a Dell 3280 Inspiron computer. And all the message that keeps shooting to me is that the last device that I plugged into my computer malfunctioned, and Windows will no longer recognize it. I have no clue. I am not computer savvy. And the guy from Dell said he said it's got to be your phone because I don't see anything wrong. Now my Dell, it recognizes my camera. It'll recognize my husband's phone, but my phone itself it won't recognize. And I'm thinking maybe I need a new phone because my phone has been acting up. I'll be talking to somebody and it'll just hang up, or it'll just randomly dial a number. Sitting on the counter. And all of a sudden, I see that it's dialed a number. I don't get it. It's possessed or something. And it's been humid and muggy and sticky for days, even through the rain. Before the rains hit, I got bugs in them. Ugh. Before the rain hit, I'll show you, I painted my basement floor. And I cleaned my basement all out, rearranged it, painted the floor so now it doesn't look like a dark dungeon down there. Made a nice little shelf for my all my laundry products. And our pipe had busted under our sink. You remember Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving time, I did a video of the Thanksgiving disaster because the pipe underneath the kitchen sink busted. Well, it busted again. Unbeknownst to me, I had no idea. And one day I was downstairs in front of my washer. I was getting ready to wash some clothes and my granddaughter was running water. Well, I could just hear it spewing. We've got off our basement right under our kitchen sink. We got this section down there. It's like a little crawl space. It's about 2 feet wide by about 6 feet long. And it's just a little dirt crawl space. And that's where all the plumbing is for the sink. Well, when it busted, it just saturated that under there. And oh my God, did it stink. And I got a whiff of that. I heard that, so I opened up because we got a little cover on it. I opened up that cover, and oh my word, I about fainted. I couldn't believe it. There was like 7 inches of water on top of that. So it had been broke for a while, and we didn't know it. So we had to run all new piping under there. We had to clean all that out the best we could. When it was all cleaned up, then I put some hydrated lime under there to help dry it up. So once it's totally dry, and it's raining right now, it's starting to rain. Once it's totally dry, we're going to go through and do a barrier on it. Either cement we're going to pour, or we're going to do it like a plastic barrier. I'm leaning more towards cement. Just be done with it. The rest of the floor is cement, but this is up. This is up above my washer. It's like a little window. It's like an addition. I mean, you never know what it was because this house was built in the late 1800s and they just added bits and pieces to it as the years went on. So that's a bit and piece that we need to deal with now. Anyway, that's all fixed. So when that got fixed, I thought, you know what, this basement smells. I opened up, we only got one window in that basement that opens. And I opened that window up, put the fan in there facing out. I put another fan facing out of that room, or facing into that room so I could dry that and keep the air flowing. And it really did help to dry that out. It's almost done. It needs a little more because it's so humid. My basement right now is damp, really damp, and it usually never is. It's usually pretty dry down there. Never floods or anything, but yeah, we got it fixed. My husband replaced all the plumbing under there, and we are good to go. We're just waiting to finish it up. Oh, it was a nightmare. And then, after that's done, we're going to do a bathroom remodel. Our bathroom needs to be remodeled, and the plumbing under our bathroom isn't leaking or anything, but we are going to assess it and see if maybe we need to put new plumbing under there. Well, because we're going to rip up the floor and redo the floor, so we might as well, go one step farther with it. Because if you need to get under the bathroom floor right now, you got to come outside and access it through, it looks like a little window. And you got to take that board off, and it's the only way you can get under there. There's no light under there, nothing. It's another one of those little dirt crawl space. So we're going to take care of that when we do the bathroom too. Get it all done, all brand new, beautiful. We're thinking about, I want ceramic tile in my bathroom. I think that would be nice. And how I wish, when I was downstairs painting, I thought, oh my gosh, how I would love to have a basement drain, a drain in the floor. There is no drain in the floor. My house is so old. I have a well in my basement. Believe it or not, there is a well in my basement. And I also have a well pit. It's a big round section, and you open it up right now, it's all dirt. You know, it's like but I think it was where a sump pump went at one time. I'm not sure, but how I wish I had a floor drain, because I'd love to have a sink down there, and I just can't do it right now. That'd be nice though. I'm getting lots of eggs. The chickens are doing really good. I'm getting about 2 dozen a day out of them. Now, with all my chickens together, I've got 34 laying hens when they grow up. The turkeys, I don't know. I'm hoping, really I am hoping that maybe one of them would be a rooster, because a turkey and rooster they're never aggressive. Very, very seldom. Well, my luck would probably be aggressive, but very seldom are they aggressive. And I'd really like to have a turkey, because I also have silkies, and if you breed them with a turkey, then you have what's called showgirls, and I'd love to have a few of those. You know, and the other thing that I would really like to get a hold of is lavender Orpingtons. I think they're just gorgeous. I've seen sapphire ones, but I like the lavender ones. So I got to go in there today. They're just a hot mess over there. They're all wet, and you'll see it when I do the walk around. They're just saturated in there. And I had just put new hay down and dusted it all with diatomaceous earth. You know, got the flies down. Now there's no flies over there, because it scatters them. It gets rid of them. So I got to tend to them a little bit. And out front, my bird feeders, I got this little squirrel. Never have I had, I've been here 14 years. 14 years. I've never had a problem with squirrels. You hardly ever see a squirrel. But we had a lot of wild cats around. Well, I am really livid, because we've got a gal that moved in across the street from me, just, you know, a couple houses down, that decided she was going to be a cat rescue. And now there's no cats in town. Not a cat around. And I think she's got about 50 cats hiding them out in her house. And I don't understand it. You know, you got to have those cats. You got to have a few wild cats. They keep your rodents down. You know, otherwise you're going to be overrun with squirrels and moles and voles and rats and mice and everything. And it's like, I just want to go over there and knock on her door and say, you know, hey, would you please let a few of them cats out to do their job? And I'm just livid over it. I'm so ready to go get about 10 cats and just let them loose in my yard. And get the squirrels and the mice, and I don't want all that. But that crazy squirrel is literally tearing the hell out of my bird feeders. So today I fixed them. You want to get rid of a squirrel? I should have done a video on it, but it's just simple to do. Sprinkle some cayenne pepper on your seeds and your bird feeders and the ground around it and the trees. And it does not hurt your birds, but it will run that squirrel away. He'll get a hold of that cayenne pepper, and he'll be running across that street with his tongue hanging out. It'll get rid of them. They won't like that at all. But it doesn't hurt the birds. They don't even notice it. So it's a win-win there. I'm going to save my bird feeders. But yeah, I got to find cats. Anybody got a cat? Bring me a kitty cat. Charlie, she's not that old. She's about 7 years old, but she's lazy. And she's spoiled. She won't come out here and chase anything. She runs and hides. Gosh, I had a bat in the house the other day, probably a week ago. I had a little bat get in the house, and he was just a-flitting all around. She's hiding under the bed. And it's like, oh my goodness. I need a cat that, you know, actually does some work. My uncle had 2 cats. I think they were like part Mancoon, because they were huge. They were like 30 pounds apiece. They were huge cats. And they'd bring him rabbits. You know, forget the mice. They'd go get him rabbits. And that's what I need. I need a good old vicious cat that's going to get rid of squirrels and moles. I got moles in my yard now. And we never had that. But I always had about 3, 4, maybe even 5 cats that would always prowl through here. I never fed them. They weren't my pets. But they were always on the prowl. And I thought, you girls just go out there and, you know, do your job. And they did good. They were fabulous little hunters. And they're gone. She's got all the cats in town. She goes around and collects all the cats, I guess. Takes them and gets them fixed, which is fine. If you want to take them and get them fixed, but let them go again. Let them back loose. Because when you don't have any cats, you just get overrun with rodents. And I know there's people out there that don't like cats, but they do a good job. You don't have to have them in your house. Just a stray cat around in the yard, they do good. Oh, I'm getting chewed up by gnats. Anyway, so enough of that venting. I've had a heck of a week. I've had kids a lot this week too. I've enjoyed it. They're doing fantastic. They're out of school and we're having a ball. You can see the blue swimming pool I got for them. We haven't been in it in a few days, so we're going to have to go and drain it and clean it out and get it ready for round 2. Now that, you know, I don't think it's going to rain too much anymore. We'll get that taken care of because I got kids all next week with me, so we're going to have fun. But I've taken them swimming. We've gone to the ice cream shop. We've been busy. And I feel bad because I couldn't put up any videos last week. I had to get that taken care of. And after all that, it's not taken care of. So I'm really upset. I tried very hard to get those videos off there. I'll just never use my phone again at all. I have to get a new one or something. I also canned up some chicken broth last week because I was running low on my chicken stock. I got a bunch of strawberries. I put them in the freezer. I got a bunch of asparagus. I put those in the freezer. So I've been busy and getting things ready. I've been selling herbs and I'm picking zucchinis out of the garden already, and I've been selling herbs, eggs, zucchini, onions. No flowers yet, but the sunflowers are going to be beautiful this year. Beautiful. Anyway, friends, it's starting to sprinkle on me. I don't want my camera to get wet because then I'll have even more troubles. So I'm going to do a walk around probably this afternoon. Let this little bout of rain go by because I see blue, you know, on the horizon yonder. I see a little blue. So it's going to break up. And then I'll do a garden walk around. We'll do a garden tour. You can see how everything's doing. All right. You all have a good day. And thanks for watching.